If you're not feared, when you say something, people they won't take notice. But they know that when I say something, I mean it. And if you're going to cross swords with me, then you must be willing to get stabbed. That's that. If I think this is going to be, it's necessary to do, and you set out to thwart me, then we fight. So to avoid a fight, I make quite sure that you understand that I will fight. Simple as that. I am not interested in being loved. What's the profit in it?
You cannot reproduce the 1959 generation. It's a different world. The 59 generation was the product of Japanese occupation. We were all young men. Dr. Goh Keng Swee, Tochin Chai, Ong Pang Boon, Rajaratnam. He was the oldest. He was in England as a student. We were stuck here with the Japanese. Changed our lives and the way we look at life. We were determined to do something about it. We sought each other out to create revolution to get the British out of the place. You know, we were not looking for a career. The United States is a frontier society. By and large, there were and are no class barriers. Everybody celebrated getting rich. Hence the Enron case, until they were discovered. Everybody wanted to be rich and tried to be. As a great urge to start new enterprises and create wealth. The US has been the most dynamic society in innovating and starting up companies to commercialize new discoveries or inventions, thus creating new wealth. American society is always on the move and changing. They have led the world in patents, striving to produce something new or do something better, faster, cheaper, increasing productivity. Having created a product that sold well in America, they then market it worldwide. When I saw America's amazing recovery in the last 10 years of the last century, after it lost much ground to industries in Japan and Germany, I appreciated the full meaning of the Americans being entrepreneurial. But for every successful entrepreneur in America, many have tried and failed. Quite a few tried repeatedly until they succeeded. Quite a few succeeded and continued to create and start up new companies as serial entrepreneurs.
Most of you guys must know by now that Singapore is a very, very successful country. And all this is thanks to one person, Kuan Yew. He was someone who did so well for Singapore. He was the Prime Minister of Singapore for many, many years, and he did what was necessary to build Singapore into what Singapore is at the moment. Now, do not get me wrong. Lee was not somebody you could play with, right? He was not somebody who was friendly. He was not somebody who did not meet actions with word. He was a hardcore person. He was someone most people will say for sure an authoritarian. And the whole thing is like a kind of dynasty they've created in Singapore because right now his son is the Prime Minister of Singapore. But the one thing that all of us must take from this is that he was someone who has the interests of Singapore at heart. He was someone who wanted Singapore to be among the most prosperous nations in the world. And even though he was an authoritarian, he did so well to build the country. And when I hear cases like this, right, when I come across videos like this, and when I read information about people like Lee, I reflect on my own personal experience. I reflect on how Africa is and the number of dictators we have in Africa who aren't doing anything for the local Africans. For example, if you look through Central Africa, you will see a lot of dictators in the, like, those countries, they have a lot of dictators. They have been there for like God knows how long, right? And the point is not them being there for this length of time. The point is they haven't done anything to help the people in those countries survive or thrive or become better. Those leaders are there, or those leaders have been there for 10, 20, 30 years, some 40 years. What more do they want? Why can't they do what is needed to help Africans move ahead? Why can't they build the countries they are governing? When they travel abroad and they see other countries, what comes into their minds? What really goes into their heads? The people in Africa just want to live, just want to survive. And they have entrusted their leaders to be able to provide for them some basic things. Why are these leaders not forthcoming? Why are these leaders not doing what they said they will do? Lee Kuan Yew was a dictator, but he built the country. The people have good roads. For any of you who have heard about the Singapore story, will testify as to what he did. He was an amazing leader. He was an exceptional leader. Now, I'm not saying that him being an authoritarian was a great thing. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he did what was best for the country. He did what was best for the country. And we from Africa, right now, we have authoritarian leaders in Africa, but yet still, we do not have anything. So if someone were to choose, or if I particularly were to choose, I would choose the Singaporean model. Be authoritarian. Be the worst dictator as you want to be. Steal how much money you want to steal. Embezzle if you may. But at least let's have basic things. Let's have food. Let's have shelter. Let's be able to get good paying jobs. Let us be able to send our children to good quality schools. And when we fall sick, we should be able to go to good medical facilities to get help.